So you found the skeleton. How would you tell it's a dinosaur? You personally, how would you decide?
Well, interesting question. I don't know. I'd have to do some research on this.
Hey there YouTube, the Dapper Dinosaur here. It's time to learn about yet another group of organisms that aren't dinosaurs, but that are sometimes mistaken for dinosaurs. This time, it's the famous sail-backed Dimetrodon, most famously, D. grandis. While Dimetrodon is usually found in those bags of cheap plastic dinosaurs that are ubiquitous in toy aisles of stores around the world, it is even less a dinosaur than the pteranodons often found there as well. In fact, Dimetrodon is on the same evolutionary line as you mammals. Dimetrodon has long been grouped with dinosaurs in popular imagination, and has long been depicted as more or less a lizard with a sailback, as in this painting of Dimetrodon by Charles R. Knight from 1897. Dimetrodon is a synapsid, the group of tetrapods opposite to the reptile side, represented by Sauropsida, or in terms of modern reptiles, Diapsida. Older works from the 1990s and earlier usually termed the synapsids mammal-like reptiles, but given the push to align systematics with taxonomy, this term is no longer generally used in the literature. During the Permian period of Earth's history, from 299 to 252 million years ago, the synapsids were the dominant land animals, and even after the Permian extinction, one group of them, the Dicynodonts, remained the dominant animal on land for millions of years. Today, the only synapsids are mammals, including the monotremes, marsupials, and placental mammals. Dimetrodon is a member of a basal evolutionary grade called Pelycosaurs. They are the synapsids that aren't therapsids, which means they do not have the columnar legs that you can see in therapsids, including mammals. This does not mean that they all walked like lizards. However, they also did not have the efficient locomotion of later synapsids, like cynodonts or gorgonopsids. Dimetrodon seems to have been able to perform a high walk, similar to a modern crocodilian, at least based on ichnofossils that have been attributed to Dimetrodon or closely related animals. As we saw before in the Charles Knight painting, Dimetrodon has traditionally been portrayed with lizard or crocodile-like skin, but this is probably inaccurate. There are no known Dimetrodon skin impressions, but there are skin impressions of other synapsids such as Estimenosuchus that show that Dimetrodon may have had scutes on its belly, rat-like scales on its tail, and smooth glandular skin on the rest of its body, like is seen in this rendering by Max Bellomio. It is still an open question where in the synapsid line hair or fur appears. We know that fur existed by the end of the Permian because it has been found in coprolites from that time, that is, fossilized dung. It's possible that Dimetrodon was furry and not scaly, although this is just speculation. Dimetrodon was a predator that inhabited humid swampy regions, so this is a rare example of walking with monsters getting it wrong, but Ark Survival Evolved getting it right. Of course, the most obvious part of the anatomy of Dimetrodon is the sail. The sail is composed of elongate neural processes, a trait that would appear convergently in Spinosaurus. The neural process is a bump on the dorsal side of most vertebrae, and humans have them too. Originally, it was thought that the sail was used for thermal regulation. The spines are well supplied with blood, and the idea is that by turning the sail towards the sun, the animal could absorb large amounts of heat from the sun, and by turning the sail so its edge faced the sun, or by going into the shade, the animal could shed heat. However, more recent research, especially regarding how the distal ends of the spines were injured and subsequently healed, indicate that the tops of the spines may not have been embedded in any webbing. This significantly reduces the surface area available for heat transfer. It also seems that the base of the sail may have been a fat deposit. So what was the sail used for? It's hard to say for sure, and whenever there is a structure with no discernible function, such as the wattle of a turkey, the head crest of a pterosaur, or a spiky half-sail on Dimetrodon, sexual display is always the default assumption. Perhaps the sail was used in mating displays, with the flashiest ones getting to mate, or perhaps sails were used to size up opponents, with the Dimetrodon with the healthier sail being the dominant one. It's hard to say for sure, but sexual selection does seem likely as an explanation for such an otherwise absurd device. The sail also would have caused some trouble with mating, a problem that may occur to you with Stegosaurus or Spinosaurus as well. It's not known how the animals mated, but it is clear that they did. Perhaps they mated facing away from each other, either directly or with some angle smaller than 180 degrees. This being said, there are many animals with challenges in mating, and as we can see from animals like gastropods, whales, elephants, and porcupines, the normal methods are an unusual mating posture, a long inflexible penis, or more broadly intromittent organ, or just being careful. While it might not be as flashy as the sail, perhaps the most interesting aspect of Dimetrodon is its dentition. The name Dimetrodon itself means two-measure teeth, and that's because its teeth are noticeably heterodont, that is, they have different shapes. While heterodont dentition did occur in some dinosaurs, most notably Heterodontosaurus, it also even occurred in Tyrannosaurus. But it is mammals with their complex of incisors, canines, premolars, and molars that take heterodont teeth to crazy levels. But with Dimetrodon, we can see the start of this trait. In the premaxilla and the anterior end of the dentary are smallish incisor-like teeth. Then a set of large pointed canine teeth from the maxilla and dentary, and then going posteriorly, there are smaller teeth that roughly correspond premolars. This trend of specialized teeth found in different parts of the body continued through synapsid evolution, resulting in some truly extraordinary teeth, such as those found in proboscideans, suids, and even apes. While Dimetrodon isn't a direct ancestor of mammals, the therapsids seem to have arisen within the Sphenacodontia, that is, the group that includes Dimetrodon as well as several other taxa of synapsids. Or it may be that Therapsida is a sister clade to Sphenacodontia. So either way, Dimetrodon is close to the ancestral line of mammals, and so far from being a dinosaur, it is an interesting look at what the ancestors of all mammals, humans included, were like some 285 or so million years ago. And during the last dozen decades or so, the scientific understanding of this animal has advanced quite a bit. From a sail-backed sluggish iguana to an active mammal-like predator who may have even had whiskers, fur, or both, Dimetrodon remains perhaps the most iconic non-mammalian synapsid, and is far more well recognized than the Gorgonopsids, which are perhaps the next best known non-mammal synapsids to the general public. Maybe in the future I'll do an episode on Gorgonopsids too. Well, I think that's it for this episode of Things That Aren't Dinosaurs. It's been a fun ride, and now I've covered plesiosaurs, pterosaurs, and Dimetrodon. I'm not sure what will be next, but some options include Mosasaurus, modern lizards like the Komodo dragon, and just for Ken Hovind, fossil whales. If you have ideas about what should be next, please let me know in the comments, and while you're at it, leave a like as it really helps the channel out a lot. Every like and comment pushes this video up in YouTube's algorithm and makes sure more people will see it. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, why not hit that subscribe button right below this video? And hit the bell icon next to it so YouTube always notifies you when there's new Dapper Dino content. I'm the Dapper Dinosaur. Thanks for watching. But before you go, I'd like to take some time to thank my patrons, especially my $20 and above patrons, Ian Chen, Chris Love, Henry Hutanen, Bob Knob, The Evil Scotsman, and Bent Hovind. As you know, YouTube is a very volatile platform, and my patrons give me much needed stability. If you'd like to join the team, there's a link in the description to my Patreon, which starts at $1. If you'd like, I also have a link to my Teespring store and an Amazon wishlist.
So you found the skeleton. How would you tell it's a dinosaur? You personally, how would you decide?
Well, interesting question. I don't know. I'd have to do some research on that.